The world had its ChatGPT moment. Do you remember it? It was love at first sight. It was the fastest adoption of any technology in human history. We looked at this glowing cursor, it spoke back to us, and we fell head over heels.
But as with any whirlwind romance, eventually you have to move in together. And that is when you start to notice habits. You notice the hallucinations, you notice the flakiness. You notice that sometimes when you ask for the truth, you get a very confident lie.
And that is where we are right now. The honeymoon is over. We don't just want a chat partner anymore. We want a worker. We want an agent that can book a flight, move money, or drive a car. But to do those things, you can't be kind of right. You have to be exactly right. We are asking a stochastic, unpredictable machine to live in a deterministic world. And that conflict is about to define the next decade of our lives. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Verlicity AI podcast. I'm Cristian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffen.
Sandra, looking at the calendar, it's February 2026. We are well into the beginning of the agentic era. This week was an important one. Just a few days ago, we saw the announcement of Claude's AI assistant called Cowork. It's Anthropic's major move into the agentic workspace.
Think of it as Claude Code for non-coders. It doesn't just chat, it can do things. Anthropic is now competing directly with Microsoft Copilot agents and Salesforce Agentforce, moving Claude from a chatbot to a coworker that performs labor.
And this movement also has an indie version, a community project called OpenClaw, which was formerly Moltbot and ClaudeBot.
Okay, I'm officially overwhelmed with all these names. The important thing to grasp in this moment is that agentic AI has reached the masses. It's in its nascent stages, it's buggy, and it isn't very useful. Yet. But there are hundreds of thousands of AI agents at this very moment talking to each other, building networks, and even hosting their own social media network, where only agents can join.
I think this is a pivotal moment to stop and ask, are we ready for this?
It feels like the industry is pushing us into the deep end of the pool. For the last 2 years, we've been chatting with AI. If the chatbot gave you a slightly weird recipe for lasagna, it didn't matter. You just laughed and fixed it. But Cowork and systems like it promise something different, to effectively make the lasagna for you. Maybe only digital lasagna at the moment, but you get the picture.
Right? The pitch is no longer, here is some text. The pitch is, I'll handle it. I'll book the trip. I'll file the tax return. I'll migrate the database.
And that shift, from talk to action, exposes the fundamental flaw in the relationship we've built so far. Because, as we discussed in our last episode, these models are stochastic. They are like rolling dice, and you do not want someone rolling dice with your bank account.
Exactly. We are seeing what I call the hangover. People are waking up from the ChatGPT love affair and realizing that while the magic is real, the trust is shaky. We've all learned to trust but verify. We check the references. We ask counterfactual questions to make sure that the chatbot isn't just telling us what we want to hear. But let's be honest, checking the AI's work is exhausting.
I hate it when the AI compliments me on a half-baked idea. That's a brilliant strategy, Sandra. No, it isn't. I know it isn't. Stop being obsequious and tell me the truth. But it can't help it. It's predicting the next token that makes me happy.
And that brings us to the core conflict of this episode. The world is messy and random, but we, humans, are surprisingly rigid about what we want. We want determinism. We want to know that if we press the button, the light turns on every time. Not 99% of the time, every time.
Let's make this concrete. Because stochastic versus deterministic sounds like a philosophy lecture, Let's talk about something everyone understands. Vacations.
Yes, the classic example of the agentic future is the AI travel agent. Book me a perfect trip to Hawaii for $5,000.
It's ironic, isn't it? 20 years ago, the internet killed the human travel agent. We all decided I'd rather save $50 and do it myself on Expedia than pay a human expert. We chose self-service over service.
But now we want the agent back. Only we want it to be software. But here is the problem. Booking a trip isn't a math problem. It's a nuance problem. What does perfect mean? Does perfect mean the cheapest flight? Or does it mean the flight that doesn't leave at 4 a.m.?
And this is where the stochastic nature becomes a nightmare. If the AI is purely creative, purely stochastic, it might say, hey, instead of a hotel, I booked you a yurt on the side of a volcano. It's an adventure. That is a very AI decision. It fits the pattern of Hawaii and memorable.
But maybe I'm traveling with a toddler. A yurt is not an adventure. It's a disaster. I have a deterministic constraint. I need a crib. I need air conditioning. These are non-negotiable rules.
So, if you put a stochastic AI in charge of a deterministic process, you get chaos. But if you go too far the other way, if you lock the AI down with too many rules,
then you get a robot. I have booked the Holiday Inn because it fits your parameters of 400 square feet and air conditioning. You get a boring, mediocre trip. You lose the serendipity. You lose the chance that the agent might say, hey, I know you said hotel, but there's this amazing villa available.
So we are caught in a trap. We don't want chaos, but we don't want a straitjacket. We want to be surprised, but only in ways that we like.
I want to peel back the layers here and explain why this is so hard for the AI to get right. And I want to introduce a concept that is going to be the buzzword of 2026, neurosymbolic AI.
Okay, that sounds like a mouthful. Break it down.
So, right now, we mostly use neural networks, like GPT-4 or Gemini. These are pattern matchers. They work like our intuition. They are System 1 thinkers, fast, instinctive, probabilistic. They vibe the answer.
That's the stochastic part.
Right. But the old way of doing AI, the way we built chess computers in the 90s, was symbolic AI logic, rules. If P, then Q. That is System 2 thinking, slow, deliberate, logical. That is deterministic.
So, neural is the artist and symbolic is the accountant.
Exactly. And for the last 3 years, we've been trying to get the artist to do the accountant's job. We've been screaming at the artist, why can't you do math? Why did you hallucinate that citation? And the artist is saying, I just thought it looked pretty.
So the solution, the next wave we are seeing with tools like Claude Cowork, is to marry them.
Yes, neurosymbolic AI. It is a hybrid. You use the neural network to understand the messy human language. I want a cool trip to Hawaii. But then you hand that request off to a symbolic system, a logic engine, to actually execute the rules. Must be under $5,000, must have AC.
It's like putting the brain inside a box. The brain can dream anything it wants, as long as it fits inside the box of rules we set.
And this is crucial for the agentic future. If I ask an agent to move $5,000 to my savings account, I do not want it to be creative. I do not want it to say, I felt like $5,000 was too boring, so I moved $6,000 to a crypto wallet. I want purely deterministic execution on the money, but I might want stochastic advice on where to invest it.
This actually reminds me of the best example of this hybrid model in the real world, the driverless car. We've talked about this before, but it fits perfectly here.
It does. A self-driving car is the ultimate hybrid. Think about it. Does a car stop at a red light because it feels like it? Because it predicts that stopping is the vibe?
No. It stops because there is a line of code, a hard deterministic rule that says, if red light detected, then stop. There is no probability allowed there. It cannot be 99% sure.
But driving isn't just rules. What happens when a kid chases a ball into the street? There is no rule in the book for kid plus ball plus rainy Tuesday. That is where the stochastic system kicks in. The car has to predict what the kid will do. It has to improvise.
So the car is deterministic on the rules, but stochastic on the reality. And that is exactly what we need our business, AI, to be.
Deterministic on the outcome, stochastic on the path. If I tell Claude Cowork, write a marketing plan that increases sales by 10%, the goal is fixed. But the path, the creative ideas, the slogans, the strategy, that should be wild. That should be stochastic.
So let's bring this back to basics. We need guardrails, but not just safety guardrails. We need value guardrails.
Right. If we go back to the Hawaii trip, the guardrails are the non-negotiables. No flights before 8 a.m., no hotels under 4 stars. But inside those guardrails, let the AI be creative.
It's like bumper bowling. The ball, the AI, can bounce around crazily. It can spin. It can do weird things. But the bumpers, the rules, ensure it always hits the pins, the goal.
And here is the insight for our listeners who are managing people using these tools. You have to stop micromanaging the process and start micromanaging the guardrails.
I like that. Don't tell the AI how to write the email. Tell the AI, here are the 5 things you cannot say. Here is the tone you must have. Now, go be creative.
This is constitutional AI. You give the AI a constitution, a set of laws, and then you give it freedom. The reason the honeymoon is over is that we gave the AI freedom without the constitution, and it acted like a drunk teenager.
And now we are trying to lock it in the basement. And we are saying, no, don't do that either. We need to find the middle ground, the hybrid. So, if the AI handles the work and the symbolic layer handles the rules, what do? What is the human job?
The human job becomes policymaker. We are the ones who set the guardrails. We are the ones who decide, is a yurt an adventure, or is a yurt a disaster? The AI doesn't know. The AI doesn't have a toddler. Only you know that.
So, going back to the travel agent, the new workflow isn't book me a trip. The new workflow is a conversation where I define the boundaries of my reality. I am tired. I hate noise. I love spicy food. I have $5,000. I am setting the deterministic constraints.
And then I step back and let the stochastic engine surprise me. Okay, based on that, how about Mexico City? I didn't think of Mexico City. That's the serendipity. But because I set the guardrails, quiet, safe, it won't book me into a party hostel.
If you chain too many random decisions, you drift away from the goal. But if you check the guardrails at every step, you keep the train on the tracks, even if the engine is a bit wobbly. I want to take this one step further. We've talked about guardrails as safety features, like bumpers in a bowling alley that stop the ball from going into the gutter. But if you really lean into this, if you have a stochastic engine checking in with deterministic rules over and over again, something interesting starts to happen.
It stops looking like safety and starts looking like structure.
Exactly. It creates a workflow. Think about a river. The water is the AI. It's fluid, powerful, chaotic, stochastic. It wants to go everywhere at once. The riverbanks. Those are your deterministic rules. They are solid. They don't move.
And the interaction between the two, the water flowing against the banks, is what creates the river. Without the banks, you don't have a river, you have a flood. A flood destroys, a river powers cities.
So when we design these agentic systems for our businesses, we aren't just policing the AI, we are digging the riverbed. We are saying, flow here, then stop at this dam. Remember the Hawaii trip? The dam is the rule that says no flights before 8 a.m. The water cannot pass until it finds a flight after 9 a.m.
This changes the very nature of our daily work. We are moving away from doing the flow ourselves, writing the emails, calculating the data, and we are moving toward designing the checkpoints.
Let's look at a practical example. In the old world, a workflow meant I do step 1, then I do step 2. In the agentic world, the workflow is the AI runs for 10 minutes, pure stochastic energy. Then it hits a hard gate, a deterministic checkpoint. Maybe that checkpoint is a code test, or maybe it's a human review.
And the AI cannot proceed past that gate until the condition is met. It's a rhythm. Sprint, stochastic. Stop, deterministic. Sprint, stochastic. Stop, deterministic.
It gives a spine to the jelly. And for our listeners, this is the skill you need to master. Don't worry about being a prompt engineer. That's a temporary job. Become a workflow architect. Learn how to place those dams and riverbanks so that the chaotic energy of the AI actually turns the turbine.
Because if you just let the water run wild, you get wet. But if you channel it, you get power.
So, as we wrap up, we have 2 powerful images for you to take away.
Think of a coloring book. The black lines, those are deterministic. They are the structure, the rules, the reality, the colors, that is stochastic, the flair, the vibe, the creativity.
And the second image is the river. You are the architect of the riverbanks. Your job is no longer to be the water, to do the drudgery. Your job is to carve the path, to set the checkpoints, to direct the flow.
The next wave of AI, the Claude Cowork era, isn't about replacing you. It's about elevating you from the worker to the architect. It's about reintroducing the need for determinism into our stochastic love affair.
It's a marriage of the wild and the rigid. And if you get the balance right, it's going to be a beautiful relationship. And frankly, it's a lot more sustainable.
It allows us to trust the machine. And once we have that trust, once we know the car stops at the red light, we can finally take our hands off the wheel and enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening. And remember that you can find us on all the popular podcast apps and on YouTube.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share this episode with a friend. I'm Cristian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffen. Join us for the next episode of Verlicity AI, where we always add color inside the lines.